Welcome everyone, this is Andrew here with Spark Finance, and I was looking at the options for obtaining a new credit card, right? If you want to get into a new credit card, what are the best plays that you can do? And I kind of like this idea of flipping the table or turning the table on credit card companies. Usually the credit card company, they make money off of you in terms of interest payments that you have to do or fees that they tack on. But what if you could get these cashback reward credit cards where you're actually using the goods and services of the credit card companies for transactions and they are paying you cash back? That sounds pretty good, right? So I was looking at this and then I said, we have to make a little bit of a criteria for these cards and what type of specific ones we want, because there's a lot of options out there. So number one, we want something that pays cash back on an unlimited amount. We don't want to have a certain amount per month or per quarter that we can use and then you stop earning the rewards. And we don't want rotating categories, right? Some of the cards, every month you have to change the category and you have to put a little sticker on your credit card to remember how much you get off in which category and which ones to use it for. We also want them to be available to use anywhere. So cards like American Express, while they might have some good cards, it's a little difficult when you go to a restaurant and they say, we don't take American Express. We want to get the cash back in an easy and simple process overall so that there's no hassle in changing reward points and all that crazy stuff. And we want a high cash back on the card itself, percentage-wise, based on the industry standard. Also, some of these cards, they have $100 annual fees. We don't want any annual fees here. If you have an annual fee, $100 means you have to spend like $4,000 in a year just to break even. So that kind of eliminates all of the rewards that you can get. Now, just because you see all this information, you don't want to go out there and just open, 4 or 5 credit cards in a 6-month period, because if you open too many credit cards too quickly, they hit your credit score a little bit and they also block you when you try and open too many at the same time. Now, there's some of these cards that also offer a bonus from $100 to $300, but we're really looking for a more longer term approach to this. Remember, when you close a credit card, that actually dings your credit score down as well. So you want to keep these cards and you want to use them over the long haul. So that is what we were thinking about here. So to start off with the cashback credit cards, we have the Citi Double Cash Mastercard. Now this one is very good. It's always been on these lists for the top cards, and it gives a flat 2% cash back. You get 1% cash back when you actually make the purchase, and then you get another 1% cash back when you pay off the balance. And you can redeem your points at any time, and you can either go directly to your bank account in a couple days, or you can just put them towards future balances on the card. So the downside of this one, and each of these has goods and bad, right? The downside of this one is that they sell all of your information to marketers on what your purchases are, basically making an avatar of you and then putting that out to advertisers to make a profit on. Next up, we have the Fidelity Visa card that gives you 2% unlimited cash back. So right off the bat, you're seeing a trend here. All these cards basically do that 2% upfront cash back. Now, this card, the drawback is that you have to have a Fidelity account to redeem the rewards into. A lot of people, though, have Fidelity accounts, whether it's from their retirement or their brokerage account, and you can set up for a health spending account or a typical cash management account. So it would be easy enough to set one up if you need to. Next up, we have the PayPal Mastercard. So this one, it also pays the 2% cash back, and the drawback is similar to Fidelity, where you have to take those rewards and to start with, you have to put them in the PayPal balance. Now, PayPal is used everywhere though, so you can either redeem it towards your balance in the future, or you can use PayPal at other merchants to use those redeemed points or money that you got. Then finally, I have to talk about the Amazon Prime Visa card. So this one is huge because it basically, anybody that has Amazon Prime should be using this card. And this is a little bit different than the criteria just because Amazon sells everything from A to Z. So anything you need, you can order from their website. And if you use their credit card, which means you already have an Amazon Prime membership, you get 5% off at Amazon. And you also get 5% off at Whole Foods because they purchased Whole Foods. On top of that, you get your standard 2% if you go to gas stations or you go to restaurants or drugstores. So you'll get that 2% as well. So if you have Amazon Prime, you're already paying for that, then you might as well get this card. Now, some things to keep in mind once you get the credit cards. First thing you should do, put all of your automatic subscriptions on the card. That way, you're just earning that that income is coming in just from stuff that you would have already spent the money on. It's automatic. You don't really have to think about it, and you're earning the cashback rewards. Then, always, 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 that's 3 times because it's very important, pay off your monthly balance in full every month. Never leave a balance on the credit card and pay the monthly balance, or pay the minimum balance rather. That's the worst thing you can do. These credit card companies, they charge about 15 to 20% APR interest rate. So if you're paying that interest rate, it doesn't matter what you do with your money, investing or anything else, you'll never get a return like that on a regular basis. Credit card debt is the worst debt to have. Now, keeping that in mind, the average American has about $6,000 that they leave on their balance as a recurring balance on their credit card, and they pay the monthly payment. And to give you an idea of how bad that is, it would take, if you just paid the minimum payment on that $6,000 balance, it would take 6 years to pay it off. And that is if you're not like doing any new purchases at all and just had it with that. So you always want to pay down your balance. Credit card companies, they make all their money from the people that pay those interest rates, those fees, because they maintain their balance. You don't want to be part of that crowd. You want to be part of the ones that are actually benefiting from the cashback rewards here. So you don't want to leave that balance on there. They usually charge, that's the biggest way the credit card companies make money. They also charge merchants and retail outlets between 1% and 3% to actually swipe their cards at those locations. And now you can kind of take a cut of that when you're utilizing their service. So when you have a new card, the average credit limit that you're going to get is between $5,000 and $6,000. So every 6 months to a year, you want to go in and either some have an app where you can apply on the app for a credit limit increase, or you can call up the company or contact them through mail or email or whatever, and you can basically request a higher credit limit, and you want to do that. Eventually, the company will contact you and say, hey, we'll give you a higher credit, but you don't want to do that because it's going to take longer. You want to hit them every 6 months or 12 months. Once you get up to about 20 to 30K, $30,000 on a credit limit, they usually won't let you increase it anymore because it's an unsecured loan. Then there's also a bunch of cards out there that give you 3 to 5%. That's different than these 2% cards that we're speaking about here, right? But a lot of those cards, they force you into a specific month, like you have to buy electronics or you have to buy stuff from restaurants to get that 5%. And you don't want to do that. It's a lot of time and effort that you have to do to follow which category you can do. And also maybe it says you can buy electronics, but only certain retail outlets and other ones are not included. So you have to really pay attention to that. And it's something that's very important when we're talking about this. We don't want to have to think about this process. We just want you to basically do it. A lot of them also have annual fees, which you must spend a certain amount each year just to break even. And that's pretty crazy right there because it's entitling you to spending not necessarily money that you want to spend, but money that you have to spend to actually make a return on this. So there's a lot of these kind of drawbacks like that. And with all of these kind of things that you have to think about now, it's easier to just go with one of these straight 2% cashback cards, right? That no matter how much you spend in a quarter, they're not going to say the first $1,000 you get a 5%, then you only get a 1% amount. You can just go and anything you spend money on, you get a 2% cash back. So that is why I favored those cards in the selection here, although I showed a little bit of the clips of the other cards available out there. So it's good to look at all the options, and of course you're going to want to do your own research on these, but I thought it was very interesting how a lot of people now are going into these cashback cards and basically saving 2% on every purchase they make. So it's a great way to put some extra cash into your pocket. That about wraps it up for a short video on an introduction to these cashback credit cards and credit cards that pay you. If you want to keep up to date on other content on the channel, I have a lot of information on personal finance, business, investing, and economics, and I'm going to be putting out more videos in the future, so stay tuned. Thanks everyone for watching. This is Andrew. I'm signing out. Have a good day.